It's early in the morning, but it's time to get excited because today is Wednesday. It's our day to do it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jason Manis, of course, with Winning Bets, giving you guys free sports picks every single day. And it's one of our favorite days of the week. That's right. Wednesday has become our favorite day because it's Wednesday, of course. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put in some bets. And we're going to go ahead and pull in some profit on Wednesday. Let's go ahead and recap what happened on Tuesday. And then we'll go ahead and see what we've got lined up for today. Yesterday, we went 2-3. We went 1-2 in basketball, 1-1 overall from the Hockey Squirrel. And we were down a little bit, just under a unit on yesterday's action. Let's talk about that win that we got yesterday in the NBA. We took that NBA first quarter money line parlay. Guys, remember we talked about doing the Bucks and the Bulls on yesterday's show, dropping them in our famous two-way money line parlay that we like to do there in the first quarter. And we got a cash right there. Actually, maybe I was the reason we got the cash. You guys know how you guys are doing it probably like if you're watching something, if it's going your way, however you're watching it, you do the same thing. Well, Bulls were going up against the Magic, and they weren't winning the first quarter. They were down, just seemed like a couple buckets, maybe every time I was looking at the box score, whether that was 5 points or 4 points, whatever has you, just down a couple buckets. So I said, all right, well, obviously I live in Chicago. The game's on TV. I'm going to go ahead and flip the game on. It's like as soon as I flipped the TV on, they started making a little bit of a comeback. Then they had that dramatic, play there at the very end where DeMarson drove the lane. He kicked it out to a wide open three. My man splashed it. Magic came down the court, was unable to get a bucket there at the buzzer. So I'll take credit for that one. I got us the win. I changed it up, watched the game, and willed the Bulls to go ahead and win in that first quarter. We needed that win right there because then we lost on the hook. I hate losing on the hook. We had under 53.5 points. Obviously, if we lost on the hook, that means there was 54 points in that first quarter between the Raptors and Heat. So tough loss right there. The other one, Warriors Spurs, went way over 57.5. I think I saw there were 66 points scored in that game. I was actually all over that game because that game was on my betting challenge that I'm doing over there on TikTok. Gave out that bet at under 226.5 points. That line closed at 220. I beat the line by 6 points. And yet that game had 244 points. So sometimes it feels good to beat the line, although it doesn't really matter if you don't get money in your pocket. But that game did not go the way anybody thought. It did not, nowhere near stand under. Nowhere near. So crazy game right there. And then from the Hockey Squirrel, again, we went 1-1. He cashed another over. He's given us overs, again, with our 5.5, 6. That was our first 6.5. And to be quite honest, I was a little nervous, guys. He gave us that bet on yesterday's show. 6.5, we had just never gone that high. That 7 goals seems like a lot. I know nothing about hockey, but hey, a good 5-2 game, and we got an empty netter there for the 7th goal to go ahead and cash out. Unfortunately, the Canucks did not come home with the win right there. That was one of his underdog plays from yesterday. Actually, the Hockey Squirrel went 4-1 overall. Unfortunately, his one loss was that second free pick that he gave us, and the Canucks dropping that game right there last night to the Predators. So again, overall, 1-2 in basketball, 1-1 from the Hockey Squirrel, down a little bit under a unit, and now down just over 3 units on the week. We will not be getting any picks this week for the remaining of the week there from the Hockey Squirrel because the NHL goes on All-Star break. So that was our last picks from the Hockey Squirrel this week. We'll look to see him back on Tuesday, see what kind of winners he can give us on Tuesday's show. I want to go ahead now and tell you guys I've got an NFL future bet on the Super Bowl. That's right. I just couldn't resist. Just quite frankly, couldn't resist. You guys don't know we talk about on these sports books with DraftKings, you can turn in crowns and you can get money. Well, on PointsBet, you turn in points and you can get money. So I did that yesterday, turned in just enough to get $10. Went ahead and split it. PointsBet does have a cool thing. They don't have a lot of cool things. You guys see I don't share a lot of bets from PointsBet. But one of the cool things they do has is you can take your free bets and split it. So I got a $10 bet, split it into 2 $5 bets. I put a $5 bet on Evan McPherson to go ahead and be the Super Bowl MVP. And again, I just couldn't stay away from it. Obviously, the Bengals need to win the game for that to go ahead and happen. I think if the Bengals are able to win the game, it's going to be close and low scoring. Rams have an outstanding defense. You see that throughout the entire season. Bengals obviously have a good defense. Look what they've done in the playoffs. Look what they did against the Chiefs. Second half adjustments were absolutely remarkable. So in my mind, the Bengals win this game. It's low scoring. This guy, McPherson, he's got the game-winning kick against the Titans. He's got the game-winning kick against the Chiefs. I see something similar like that if they're able to beat the Rams. It may be a game-winning touchdown, but it also could be a game-winning field goal. So if this guy goes, let's say 3 for 3 and kicks the game-winning field goal, shit, he could be the MVP. And at 100-1 for a chance to put a $5 free bet to win $500, I couldn't say no. Couldn't say no. Just with what this guy's done in the playoffs in terms of kicking game-winning field goals, If you believe the Bengals are going to win, I don't believe it's going to be in a shootout. I just think you got two really good defensive teams. So give me what I hope will be a nice low-scoring Bengals win with this guy kicking a game-winning field goal. And I'll go ahead and get myself a free roll for a chance to win $500. So who's going to be with me here? Who's going to sprinkle a few bucks on Evan McPherson at 100-1 to be the Super Bowl MVP? Let me know if you're going to ride with me on that one. One more thing there with the NFL. I showed with you guys on Monday that I'm holding the Rams Super Bowl winner future bet. I think I'm gonna go ahead and hedge it. I want to give myself one more day of thinking, but I am thinking I'm going to go ahead and hedge it. I can win 5 units with that free bet that I put in there on the Rams win the Super Bowl. If I just spend 2 units, I can win myself 3 units then either way, whether the Rams or the Bengals win. I'm in this thing to make money and to turn profit. And that's not a huge payday. Like normally I wouldn't hedge a future bet, but it's only 5 units. I'm likely going to go ahead and hedge it. I'll let you guys know by Friday if I go ahead and put in a bet on that Bengals money line. All right, let's go ahead and turn our attention to basketball and making some money today. Let's go ahead and start with an NBA player prop. Let's go ahead and do Dorian Finney-Smith under 11.5 points. I got that at -104 yesterday and shared this bet yesterday on Twitter. Finney-Smith going into this game should be the power forward. That's why I absolutely love this bet because Porzingis has already been ruled out due to a knee injury. Anytime Porzingis doesn't play, they put Finney-Smith at the power forward position. In the starting lineup, if you have Kleber there, the starting center, Porzingis is the power forward, Finney-Smith will play the small forward position. But again, with Porzingis out, that should move Finney-Smith to the power forward position. And what that really does to us in terms of this bet is now that puts Finney-Smith up against Dort there of the Thunder, who again is one of just the best defenders in the entire NBA. So love that. Him staying under 11.5 points. He only averages 10.1 points on the season. Gone up against these Thunder twice this season. Got to cash in one of those two. Again, with him going up against Dort, I absolutely love this with no Porzingis in the lineup. He should struggle against Dort. Dort, one of just the premier defenders in the entire NBA. So a guy that already doesn't score a lot, his average again is at 10.1. This one is at 11.5, not 10.5. I was surprised that it wasn't going to be at 10.5. So 11.5, I'll gladly take the under. So we'll go ahead and take Dorian Finney-Smith under 11.5 points at -104 over DraftKings. 2 more NBA player props, and let me put these 2 on your radar. I'm looking at Embiid against the Wizards. I'm fearful of a blowout, to be quite honest. I mean, Embiid should absolutely eat up against this Wizards team, but I'm just scared of a blowout. You still got no Bradley Beal. I believe he's going to still miss this game due to an injury. So there's a real possibility that the 76ers just blow the Wizards out at home. And maybe Embiid doesn't reach, I think his number is at 31.5, if I'm recalling correctly at the sportsbook. There's a threat that maybe he doesn't get 32 points. I think if he plays, a normal, duration, the entire duration of a game, he's going to get over his point total, but just fearful of a blowout. So just need to really just kind of comb over that information and see if I want to risk that player prop up against a potential blowout. Then the other one I like is CJ McCollum going under his point total. It's at 21.5, going up against the Lakers. The Lakers, of the positions that they obviously have to defend on the court, shooting guard is by far their best defended position. Lakers are generally speaking a good defensive team overall. You add that in with how good they do up against the shooting guard position. I like maybe CJ McCollum under 21.5 points. The only thing that scares me about that is that dude's shot volume. That guy just takes shots. So do I really want to fade CJ McCollum? So those are the 2 player props I'm mulling over is Embiid over and McCollum under. Check me out on Twitter. It's at WinningBetsPod. It's at WinningBetsPod. If I bet any of them, you'll be first to know there. All right, let's talk some NBA first quarter action right now. And of course, it all has to start with those Cleveland Cavaliers because they're on the road. Just blindly bet it. And the number actually came in at -1.5, so not all that bad. Again, we know the Cavs are the best team in the NBA on the road. They're 22-4 in the first quarter, covering that spread against the road. They're going up against the Rockets team, a team that they crushed earlier on this season overall in the first quarter and beating them easily overall in that game. So love the Cavaliers obviously on this road. We'll look to ride probably the hottest trend that we've been probably riding all basketball season is these Cavs on the road. So yeah, go ahead and take those Cavs -1.5. You can get that at -114 over at FanDuel right now. The other game I was curious at in terms of against the spread was the Mavericks going up against the Thunder. The Thunder are the league worst on the road in covering the spread. They're 6-17-1. They have a negative 6.83 point differential. They're going up against the Mavs, who are plus 2.12 point differential on the season at home. And in their last 10, they're 7-3 with a plus 5 point differential. But the number came in at -4.5. And that just was just enough to go ahead and put me off. So we're going to monitor that line throughout the day, see if maybe that falls down to -3.5. But at -4.5, It's a lot of points to cover in the first quarter, so I was a little bit hesitant, but I do have that one on my radar to kind of monitor throughout the day. I do have some bets, though, and some over-unders. Let's go ahead and do Wizards 76ers under 54.5 points at -106 on the season. These teams are cashing the under 29, 17, and 1 and averaging 53 and 52 points. And in the last 10, they're cashing the under 12, 7, and 1, and they're averaging 54 and 53 points. So give me under 54.5 points in Wizards versus 76ers. A couple other ones to put on your radar, just to let you know that I'm monitoring them. I like Grizzlies, Knicks. I like potentially taking the under in that game, but it came in at 53.5. Would have liked to have seen that come in at 54.5, so we'll be tracking throughout the day to see if that does go up to 54.5 and then look to take the under, as those teams have been cashing the under, majority have not throughout the season. I also like taking the over in Nets versus Kings, but that number came in at 59.5, and that was just enough to go ahead and put me off. And these teams are only averaging 58 and 58 on the season and 57 and 60 in the last 10. While they are cashing the over, I thought 59.5 was a little bit too rich. Let's see if we can't get over 58.5 throughout the day. And then the other one I liked is Nuggets Jazz. They've been cashing the over so far this season, but I wanted it to be 56.5, and that number came in at 57.5. And again, the numbers are really only out at FanDuel. So let's just see what DraftKings comes in at. We don't need to be getting in bets that we don't necessarily like. Let's see if we can get under 54.5 in Grizzlies and Knicks. Let's see if we can get over 58.5 in Nets versus Kings. And let's see if we can get over 56.5 there in Nuggets versus Jazz. Just make sure you're following me throughout the day on Twitter. It's at WinningBetsPod. It's at WinningBetsPod. All right, so that's what we're going to go ahead and roll with today. We're going to go ahead and roll a Dorian Finney-Smith under 11.5 points at -104. We're going to do those Wizards 76ers under 54.5 points at -106. And we're going to take those Cavs on the road in that first quarter at -105 at -114. All right, guys, give you guys other possibilities that we're keeping an eye on. Just make sure you're following me on Twitter. It's Wednesday, so it's going to be a good day for us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching till the end. I'm Jason Mattis. Any love you can show by giving me a like, a subscription, or a comment, or even just share this video is very much appreciated. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to increase your chances of locking in the same odds as I talked about today. And check out my other great videos in these corners.